In this gripping video, we bring you the top 5 shocking and intense courtroom moments where convicts unleash their emotions, leading to explosive outbursts that left everyone stunned. Get ready to witness the raw, unfiltered reactions that rocked the justice system. Meet Ricky Hand, a notorious individual embroiled in a series of armed robberies across Ohio. Ricky stands accused of multiple offenses, including aggravated robbery, attempted safe-cracking, and breaking and entering. However, his illicit romance with robbery took an abrupt turn for the worse on the fateful night he targeted John's drive-thru in Springfield, Ohio. As depicted in the footage, the owner of the property was preparing to close for the night when Ricky Hand appeared, intending to carry out his nefarious plan. Unbeknownst to Ricky, the owner was armed and promptly fired shots to deter him. With his unsuccessful attempt thwarted, Ricky was forced to flee. The owner wasted no time in alerting the authorities about the incident, informing them of an attempted robbery that resulted in the assailant being shot. Shortly thereafter, a man with gunshot wounds arrived at a nearby hospital, which didn't go unnoticed by the police. It didn't take long for them to connect the dots and deduce that this wounded individual was likely the wanted robber. Subsequently, arrests were made at the hospital, and Ricky Hand found himself under questioning that very night. Remarkably, Ricky survived being shot 3 times. But the astonishing events didn't end there. The judge delivered the bombshell, imposing a staggering 40-year prison term upon him. In an apparent moment of disbelief, Ricky's mind seemed to malfunction momentarily as he sought clarification from the judge regarding his sentence. However, Ricky had a surprise in store, concealed within his arm sling. Astonishingly, he produced small bottles containing his own feces and urine, which he had cleverly hidden all along. In a swift motion, Ricky hurled these repugnant projectiles at his defense lawyer, engulfing the courtroom in pandemonium. Ricky was determined to leave an indelible impression, and he certainly succeeded. Enter the case of Shondell Jackson, an individual facing murder charges in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Back in 2010, Shondell, then 19 years old, attempted to rob Nathan Potter, a 21-year-old University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee student, returning to his apartment. Tragically, Shondell's intention to rob took a horrific turn when he discovered that Nathan had no cash on him. Instead of walking away from the failed robbery, Shondell callously shot Nathan, abruptly ending his promising young life. One would expect a person convicted of first-degree intentional homicide during a robbery to exhibit at least a modicum of remorse. However, Shondell Jackson displayed no remorse throughout the trial. To add insult to injury, he even smirked in the face of Nathan's grieving family. This audacious display of indifference in the aftermath of such a heart-wrenching tragedy is enough to ignite a raging fury within. During the trial, Nathan's father, his voice heavy with emotion, delivered a poignant victim impact statement. He appealed for the maximum sentence and denounced Shondell's crimes as pure evil. He acknowledged that no words could bring Nathan back, but emphasized that a severe sentence would ensure that Shondell would never have the opportunity to inflict such pain again as a free man. When the judge finally pronounced the sentence, life in prison with no chance of parole, Shondell's pent-up anger erupted. He unleashed a torrent of curses directed at the judge, causing chaos to erupt in the courtroom. Court officers swiftly intervened, apprehending Shondell and resorting to pepper spray to regain control of the situation. The madness didn't end there. Sitting in the back of the courtroom, Shondell's family couldn't resist joining the fray. They proceeded to insult Nathan's mother, directing their vitriol as if she were somehow responsible for Shondell's heinous crime and subsequent sentence. This bewildering behavior left both the victim's family and onlookers perplexed. A familiar face in Judge Lucci's Ohio courtroom. At 32 years old, Mason Bryant has amassed quite a rap sheet, dating back to his juvenile days. He has had multiple stints in prison, with Judge Lucci presiding over at least 8 of his cases. One could say he's become a regular customer in that courtroom. In his most recent case, Bryant was found guilty of several serious charges, including robbery and abduction. The verdict left no room for doubt. If you think Bryant's criminal record was concerning, brace yourself for his behavior during the court proceedings. The day of reckoning arrived as Bryant stood before Judge Lucci for his sentencing. Initially, he seemed to accept his fate, acknowledging a lifetime of bad decisions and showing respect for the judge's decision. However, the respect was short-lived. When Judge Lucci handed down a 22-year sentence, Bryant's true colors burst forth in a profanity-laden tirade that reverberated through the courtroom. He unleashed a barrage of expletives, accusing the judge of racism and disrespecting the courtroom. Surprisingly, there was an unexpected twist. Judge Lucci had initially considered Bryant's remorse and attempted to be fair. Unfortunately, due to the outburst, Judge Lucci changed his mind, struggling to get his words out amid Manson's disruption. Consequently, the sentence was extended to 28 years behind bars, with an additional 6 years tacked on by the judge. Bryant's defiance persisted even as court deputies led him away, hurling insults without restraint. Roughly 3 minutes after the incident, Judge Lucci can be heard laughing about the events that had just transpired. It's noteworthy that the judge appeared calm and composed until the sentence was delivered. According to Judge Lucci, this wasn't the first time Bryant had displayed such disrespect. In Houston, a tragic story unfolded involving Johnson, who is currently facing murder charges. The sorrowful tale began in 2006 when Johnson, along with 4 others, carjacked Maria Aparici and her boyfriend. The couple was held at gunpoint while their belongings were taken, and then they were driven around Houston. Johnson and his accomplice, Keithron Fields, subjected them to a nightmarish ordeal of torture and humiliation. Eventually, Maria Aparici and her boyfriend were shot in the head and left in the woods. It took 5 days before their bodies were discovered. In a Harris County courtroom, 19-year-old Dexter Johnson stood to face the consequences of the crimes he committed. While Dexter admitted his role in the crime, he persistently claimed that he was not the shooter. Throughout the trial, Johnson maintained a stoic expression, his gaze fixed on the defense table. However, a surge of emotions overwhelmed him when the final verdict was announced: the death penalty. Tears streamed down Johnson's face as he looked towards his family, wanting to give them one last wave goodbye. He appeared confused and unsure what to do next. The state of Texas had declared his punishment as death. Moments later, Johnson's rage erupted, and he hurled a chair across the room. Chaos ensued as officers swiftly tackled him, and panic engulfed the courtroom. It was a heart-wrenching scene as Johnson's relatives wailed and pleaded for mercy. 2 of his family members collapsed, requiring immediate medical attention. It was an overwhelming display of raw emotions, and the mayhem spilled into the hallway. Denise Collins extended her support to the parents of Maria Aparici, the woman whom Johnson had robbed, sexually assaulted, and killed. It was a moment of solace amidst the chaos as emotions continued to run high throughout the case. Renee Johnson, Johnson's mother, passionately defended her son, fervently declaring his innocence and placing her faith in divine intervention. Eric Penland, who is facing child endangerment charges in Ohio, has been convicted of violently shaking his infant son, resulting in permanent disabilities. 2 years ago, Penland shook the child so forcefully that the boy is now blind and permanently disabled. As the verdict was read in a courtroom filled with emotions, it was evident how severe the abuse had been. The incident occurred when the child was only 3 months old. Sharon Lawson and her husband, dedicated foster parents to disabled and abused children, had been caring for Penland's baby boy since 2017. The now 2-year-old victim was officially adopted by the Lawsons a few weeks before the sentencing and has since been relocated to an area where he can receive a safe and loving environment. Sharon Lawson expressed the unimaginable agony they experienced while caring for the baby, as the child's relentless, hours-long screaming left them completely unprepared for the severity of the abuse. Penland showed no remorse for his actions. Prosecutors also highlighted Penland's prior criminal record, which included convictions for robbery and a federal firearms charge. Penland received an 11-year prison sentence. Prosecutors emphasized that he wasn't facing more severe charges because the baby miraculously survived his injuries. After hearing his sentence, Penland displayed frustration and disbelief, bowing his head, shaking it, and ultimately unleashing a profanity-laced outburst, proclaiming his innocence. These explosive courtroom moments serve as a stark reminder of the immense emotions and tension that can arise during criminal proceedings. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and turn on the notification bell for more updates. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.